What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Kayak Adventure Series Aggressively Average Angler Podcast. This is episode 3, and as always, we're bringing you another amazing guest who's going to give you some awesome tips. If you're interested in jumping into the tournament scene, if you want to get better at your tournament performance, if you want to catch bigger fish, these are the guests that we bring on the show. Tonight's guest is Dan Miguel from Great Lakes Finesse. Dan, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Really good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys don't know Dan, he has been on our show 5 times, 6 times?
5 times.
Five.
Wow.
Dan knows it better than we do. He was ready to go. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
He's an elite company. There's only a couple people who have gotten on that many times. It's a rarity.
I don't think I've been on 5 times.
Oh, Drew. Well, I mean,
I'm
now
not
you have.
Yeah.
You're on
I'm just here just to
this show.
Yeah, the reason I'm just popping in here for like 10, 15 minutes and then leaving is just so I can get a count. Like, this is another show I was on. See? So boom. There we go. I'm trying to like catch up to Dan. But Dan's lying. He's exhausted, man. There's no way you're possibly doing great, Dan, because dude, the classic was so packed, man. Like, I saw your booth was so busy. It was amazing. Everybody, that whole Pradco brands, like, it was, I mean, you've got to be whipped. I'm still recovering from it. But all kidding aside, it really was a fun show. And you guys got some really cool new stuff. So can't wait to let you guys learn more about it for sure. And they're going to be great baits to, they catch more than just smallmouth, guys. You can finesse. I know that's kind of like what some people associate with the brand, being from up north and, Great Lakes, of course, on the name. But, man, these pressured fish, some of the places that we go and the stuff you guys are making is really special. And I'll just, again, pop in here. Just want to say, hey, I got something in the mail today, actually. Dan, can you explain this?
Yeah. I got that in the mail too.
So it came in this giant box. It was as big as. Do you have the box, Jeff? Do you have the box? The box was as big as. It was like this big, and I said, "Whoa! Look what I got from Pradco!" So a bunch of tackle, and I lifted it up, and it was like it weighed nothing. And I was like, "What is this?" But this is what it was.
Team at Pradco.
Yeah. So I assume this is something new that you guys have coming out for soft plastics or something, right? I mean,
yeah, we just launched it actually at the Classic. So yeah, it's our new clear bait bag. It's pretty
nice.
Good.
It's pretty huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it can hold a lot. So now it's gonna be great. So the premise, and I'll give you a little rundown. Again, this is the joint show with the Kayak Adventure Series and Aggressively Average Anglers. And the Kayak Adventure Series is pretty cool because, so you know how we typically have these, big boat tournaments, right? In the boat world, you need like a 25,000 acre lake at least, probably, hopefully even bigger, because you got to handle the number of people in the opens, and you all launch from one boat ramp because you have to, because you got to check live wells. You can't just have people just launch from wherever they want. Now, we in kayak fishing, we use catch, photo, release. So it's pretty cool because we don't need one giant 25,000 acre lake. We get to go knock on the door of Tallahassee, Florida, where we'll be, a week from today. I'll be there already for our Tallahassee event. So yeah, there you go, Tallahassee. And it's pretty cool because we let the anglers fish in rivers, lakes, creeks, ponds. I mean, anything that's kind of public in general. We have a map that shows them all the eligible water. And dude, they just have such a blast because it's not all of those highly pressured fisheries. Now, some of the fisheries that the bass boat world goes to are amazing, of course, and that's why they go there. But there are so many fisheries that just weren't quite big enough. You can see all the eligible water they have to choose from. But Lake Talquin's the big star of that one. It's about 11,000 acre lake that just pumps out giants. We're going to have 30 plus pound bags, which for us, it's 100, 105 inches coming for sure. And it's going to be fun. So anyway, just lets people get out there and explore and all the different places the kayak excels, and lets us hit some new playing fields, right, in our sport, because our other ones are kind of beat up and have been done over and over and over. And we're kind of getting tired of them. At least I know I am. Some people are. So it's pretty cool. And Great Lakes stuff's going to crush it down there on some big Florida bass for sure.
Cool.
I guarantee you've never seen that.
Hey, I really don't want you fishing that because, to be honest, I don't want to get beat that bad. I don't
just dominate everybody.
Everyone else is going to beat me in that tournament. I don't need you beating me too.
We'll try to get Dan to warm. We'll try to get them to one, because here's the deal. We have it's very laid back with fellowship. We have a Wednesday welcome dinner. Thursday is the opening ceremonies. It's at a brewery or a restaurant. We eat food, we have fun. Friday, you can't fish anymore. Practice is over. There's no fishing. We start fishing Friday at 3. So what do we do in the morning? We have a Bass U. It's called Bass U brunch, right? We give you guys food, breakfast, and we bring in speakers. I speak some, or bring in other pros. We can bring in Dan at one of them. And you can literally sit there and talk about your baits and help people kind of understand more about them and when to use which ones and whatnot. And we're going to be, you can see the schedule offline. You can check it out later. But we will be, in some places that are closer to you, like Pennsylvania and Indiana's pretty close in April. But maybe even the finale. The Broodstock is the name of our finale. It's called Broodstock, which is just a play on the word. If you guys don't know, broodstock is the fish they get, these giant fish, the brood, right? The giant ones that fisheries departments from all the states grab, and they shock them up usually in the areas where they know they can find some big ones. And they take the biggest genetics and they bring them to their, ponds and spawn them. So they call those the broodstock. So kind of a play on the words like Woodstock, right? Our finale, like our Red Crest or classic, is Broodstock. So Broodstock 3 is coming up in Clarksville, Tennessee. Patrick's talked about coming to that one. So maybe we get some people there and just make it a big bash, and you can do a seminar whenever it works out. So we can figure that out later.
I'll put you on a kayak so big with a big motor on it, you'll think you're on like a super slow bass boat. You'll love it.
You mean a boat? You put them on a boat?
Yeah, like a boat.
I'll put them on a crest craft, and I'll give them the big motor.
Okay.
Oh man, that sounds like fun. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Dominate.
Chat about it.
Well, I'll let you guys get to it, man. I'm going to run. I got kids to finish putting to bed and stuff like that. But I just want to say thanks to Dan. We're giving away some of this stuff through LureNet, through all the Pradco brands. We're giving away some of the Great Lakes Finesse stuff and Pradco stuff. It might just be gift cards this year, but the first 50 anglers that register in our events get a $100 gift bag from our sponsors. And I think Patrick was saying this year, rather than products, because last year we gave away some of everything, whether it's Booyah, Yum, and Great Lakes Finesse and Head and whatever, Rebel. This year it might be a gift card. So you guys get to go LureNet yourself and choose what that is. But first 50 get $100 worth of stuff. It's going to be awesome. Look forward to seeing you guys in Florida. And Dan, look forward to seeing you somewhere along the line this year. If not before the ICAST, I'll see you there, I'm sure. So
yeah,
we'll see you. Have a great show, and you guys are going to learn a lot.
Thanks, Drew.
All right. See you guys.
See you, Drew. All right, so now we get into the show. Let's get to it. A couple quick updates, you guys. First of all, Classic was a blast. We got a bunch of tackle from there, a bunch of GLF stuff, as well as a lot of swim baits and some other crazy things. The new Karashi 80s that dropped, we picked up those. So we do have an unboxing of that coming pretty soon. Stay tuned for it. And then we did an on-the-water test of the Voyax Moza 128. That nobody is saying that name right, by the way, Paul. I saw Wendell did it, we did it, like 5 other creators. Nobody knows how to pronounce this thing, but whatever. That video is coming out Friday, and then I'm putting together like a nice long fun video of like everything that happened at the Classic. That will drop on Monday. And we have a members only live. We did one last night. It was awesome. We gave away a custom Karashi color from the Classic. And then we're doing another one April 14th. So that's coming up real soon. But beyond that, we got to get into the show because Dan's going to share all of the secrets that you've ever observed in bass fishing. He's going to tell you everything. He's going to tell you what that kid won the Classic with that nobody knows because he's not allowed to talk about it. Dan knows that. He's going to tell us, right, Dan?
I kid you not. I just got a call about an hour ago, and I have the insight on it.
You know what he caught on?
I mean, I'm not going to talk about it because
I know.
It's just through the inside connections. But I do know what it is, which is crazy.
I feel like I know what it is. I'm going to have to ask you after the show.
Sure. All I know is it's a minnow. That's all I would like. He was saying it was.
Yeah, it's a minnow.
Wild.
Yeah, it's a minnow for sure.
It's a minnow for sure, dude. It's a live minnow. That's what it was. Freaking crushed it on live bait. All right. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. Paul, hit him with that cue of the D. Let's get warmed up.
Well, so this one it's actually kind of interesting. So if you guys haven't heard of Great Lakes Finesse, they're what I think most of the bass fishing will be considered a downsize option for a bait. They're a little bit on the smaller side. 2.5, 2 1/4, 3 inch. That's kind of the sweet spot for a lot of these baits. So this question actually makes a lot of sense. So Dan, when you're fishing and you go out and you're like, man, I'm having a tough day. Do you go up from that size or do you go down?
Down, man. I'm
Just
down.
keep going until it's invisible. Right?
Just keep going.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny. We actually introduced a whole line of micro baits last summer, and I feel like it kind of flew under the radar a little bit just because it was kind of the end of the season. ICAST timing is tough, especially in the north because our season's really winding down. But our solution to that has always been to downsize. And so, like, I just got one on my
I'll
table.
show you. I got them right here. So we got the snack craw. This is the OG snack craw. So I think this is 2.1, I think.
2.1, yeah.
Yeah. So already a pretty small bait in 2.1 inches. This is what they released. Little micro guy. Look at that guy. And probably my favorite color. This is a motor oil. This color is
tiny.
Unmatched. But even the craw, they found a way to downsize.
Yeah, I think, it was already tough for people to take in the fact that our stuff was so small initially. So to go even smaller, I think people were like, well, I'm still getting
They
used
didn't think
to
you could
what
do
guys
it.
have. So anyway, I think it really flew under the radar. No, it's so funny. It's just what we believe in. We believe that, micro is kind of the wave that's going to come. I believe that just because of the fish we catch with it. But, when we're showing it to our retail partners, they're like, smaller? Why would you go smaller? We thought you're going to go bigger. And I'm like, well, this is what we're using to catch fish. Yeah. And so I think it'll come. But, it is what it is.
Well, and it's really funny because, I think the Ned rig, like, there's a lot of reasons why the people will tell you the Ned rig works so well. But I think one of them is that, one, it's just very non-threatening. I mean, it's like the least threatening bait ever. And I think every fish at some point has to make a decision, unless it's like a true reaction bite. Every fish has to make a decision about, like, do I want to go fight this fight or do I want the free snack? Like, am I just going to go... it's an easy meal. Finally, this one's not going to fight me, or it's not going to fight me as much because it's so tiny. And I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, at least to me. And small minnow, not moving fast. You get the drop minnow in like under 2 inches. That's free. That's free food right there. No effort.
Yeah. No. Exactly. It's easy. It's no. I think it makes a lot of sense to me. I think you get it. I think the anglers will start to catch on as we get bigger. As we go along. I just noticed my headphones weren't plugged in. I'm getting sound out of my webcam. I'm gonna try plug it. Can you guys hear me okay? I just realized.
We can actually, yeah. I would have told you already.
I'm gonna roll with it.
All right.
Great.
Let's roll with it, man.
If it's good, let's roll.
That's awesome. And like I think you're right. You guys came out with the micro series, but like it's kind of against the grain. Like the general thought process of most anglers is like, oh, it's not working. Go bigger, A-rig, glides, 9-inch glides, beyond that. And they tend to want to jump up. There's also, this is my least favorite thing about the bass fishing community is that someone somewhere along the way started calling spinning rods the original ultimate fishing methodology, spinning setup, fairy wands and sissy sticks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, they catch some of the biggest fish around. If you're going saltwater fishing, you're using a spinning rod setup. Like it's the OG. Mm-hmm. Pay some homage to the OG. What are we doing, y'all? Come on. But that's like you have a carbon fiber, like medium light setup option for spinning rods. It's like the ultimate do-all finesse setup. Like how do you feel when you're like talking to someone? They're like, yeah, I had to grab the sissy stick today and go see if I can catch fish. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I think it was certainly a problem, years ago, 5 years ago, but this minnow game has completely opened for spinning rods. We talked to our retail partners and they're like, man, we can't sell bait casters anymore. So it seems to be like spinning is taking over. So I mean that's kind of gone away. For us, it's just we're comfortable with it. There's a lot of talk about BFS and stuff, and it's like, hey, let's take this finesse game that we're using spinning rods and put it back on a bait caster. I mean, I've yet to really dive into it, but talking to the BFS guys, I mean, they're super passionate about it. They feel like it performs better at times. So, it's something I got to find some time for.
At times.
Better at times.
At times.
Yeah.
That's like the
I find it
thing.
And I find it interesting when BFS guys are like, no, it casts more accurately. And I'm like, in what world? Exactly.
There's no way.
There's no way. And look, I love BFS fishing. It's very entertaining. There are times when it's better. Top water, it's better. Flipping definitely can be better for sure. And the sensitivity, honestly, on flipping seems like it's better. But bite detection, not better. Casting accuracy, not better. Casting distance, not better. It's not better.
Okay. That's a big one for me because I just got into an argument with a guy who told me he can cast further with a BFS system.
He's wrong.
That's what I said. I was willing to put money down on the table, and I was gonna do it, and then he backed off.
Well,
because he knew he was gonna lose money.
Because here's the thing: the longer the rod on a BFS setup, the worse the cast. It's the exact opposite on a spinning rod. Longer the rod, better it casts. You just get more load up, but you can't get it. There's a certain amount of speed. There's diminishing returns on your cast to your speed.
Yeah. And
at some point, the spool just can't keep up. It just can't do it. So, and look, I've got a $300+ BFS baitcaster right there. Casts great, but there's no world where honestly an ugly stick probably beats that 75% of the time on the same weight, as long as the line is good. So and again, passionate BFS angler, super fun, would never turn anyone away from it. You throw a Jigmasters buzzbait on, you're gonna have the time of your life. You're gonna have so much fun. But it's 10% of the time it's better. Truly better.
Yeah,
this is great. I'm sending this link when this show's done.
Dude, let it rip. And again, hand to God, I've told people to go buy one. I would still tell someone to go buy one because it's just a ton of fun to do. And honestly, this whole downsizing a flipping set, like what we end up doing with a lot of your baits, which is I throw your stuff on your jigs, and I throw it on BFS stuff all the time, and I all the time. I had the time of my life doing it, and you can't stop me.
Yeah,
it's too much fun.
What if Dan was like, "You're not allowed to do that"?
I'd be fine because you sent me a finesse CX, and I can bomb a 1/8 for 16 miles. It feels overweighted at 1/8, so I'm good no matter what. I'm not losing.
That seems excessively far. I don't believe that you got
over them mountains.
I don't think you did that back in my day. Oh my gosh. All right, well, let's get into it, Dan. So first off, for anybody who hasn't seen Dan on our show 5 times in the past already, give them the quick synopsis, who you are, how you got into the industry, if you would, just to catch people up.
Yeah, I mean, short version is I co-founded Great Lakes Finesse with a friend of mine. We were working on another business together in the fishing industry and started doing it on the side. Honestly, we never thought that it would really be more than just a little side hustle. We'll make some money on the side. It'd be fun. And man, not even a year later, we just couldn't keep up with demand. We were trying to scale. It just went crazy. And about a year and a half later, we're talking to one of the biggest companies in the fishing industry to help us grow the company. That was Pradco. And here we are today. The company is about 4. I know how old it is because I started it when my kids were born. I got triplet boys. And I started 6 months after them, and they're almost 5. So it's about 4.5 years old now. And yeah, it's just been a fun journey. Just building baits that I've always wanted to make, and people are liking them. So it's fun.
Awesome. So yeah, you wanted to be able to keep up with that production, that demand, because you guys were just selling out like crazy. I mean, you just can't build that much. And Pradco is an umbrella of all the brands that you guys know. So if you know War Eagle or Yum, obviously you see Great Lakes Finesse here, Arbogast is in there, Head In, Booyah, all those brands under this big old umbrella, and they're providing, the opportunity for you to match that production, to meet that demand. So we're able to now have what exists as GLF today, which is pretty cool, man. Yeah. You got a great story. And if you guys haven't heard it, listen to some of our previous podcast episodes with him too, because we got into it. Tonight's more about, tournaments, catch a big fish, all that stuff. So I want to make sure we save some time for that. Also, want to take a look at some of your new stuff so people can see that because it just dropped. We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, talk to us how you got to making these baits in the first place. Because, I mean, you've been doing tournaments, catching giants for a while now, right?
Yeah. I've been fishing tournaments for almost 25 years. And where I live here, we've got arguably the best smallmouth fishermen on the planet. We've got the Johnson brothers who live, if anyone knows who they are, they're Chris Johnson's won Angler of the Year on the Bassmaster Elite Series 2 years in a row. He won it last year. Yeah, so he won it. We got Corey Johnson, another great angler. We got Cooper Gallant, Evan Kung. So we got 4 guys who literally live like within a half hour of me. So just by nature, having that level of competition, it's kind of elevated everyone. I'll give the Johnsons credit. They just took it to the next level, and all the other anglers, if they want to even compete, they were going to have to really, put in the work. And for me, that meant putting a lot of time on the water and trying to find an angle that no one had really thought about. And about 15 years ago, I kind of figured out that these really big fish we could trigger them with really tiny baits, like little crappie baits. And that was kind of my little secret. Like I was just using tiny little crappie baits and stuff. The challenge there was that a lot of the terminal and stuff and the baits themselves just didn't really do what we needed to do to catch those big fish. So we started making pouring our own jig heads, stuff that had better hooks. And we kept it like really guarded for like 10 years. We won a lot of money doing it. There was a time where I thought, maybe I'll go and try to take a run at the opens. And then my wife got pregnant and she had triplets. And
why would she do that?
At that point, you're like,
why would? What?
So
has she
at that point, I'm like,
yet?
I like how he's like, my wife got pregnant.
You had nothing
to do with it.
I had nothing to do with it. This is not.
I swear.
She just went off. And
one day she's just like, "Here's 3 kids," and I was like,
I thought it was like I thought it was normal to have one.
That's like, usually the case. Yeah,
what I heard.
Yeah. So anyway, I've yet to hear of anyone that I know personally with triplets. So anyway, that was the hand I was dealt, and it ended up being totally a blessing in disguise because. Here we are. I was like, well, there's no sense hanging on to these secrets. Let's make some baits. Let's sell some. And
if I can't keep the secret, I'm selling it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Right?
I would do the same thing.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah. So
in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So it's awesome, right? Now the kids, they get to see me making this brand. They're so into it. They love the baits. They want to go fishing all the time, and hopefully I can be an inspiration to those guys. So it's worked out really well. I'm really happy with how it all happened. I think a good lesson in that is like sometimes when you just put stuff out there and give people, it kind of comes back, right, in a way that maybe you didn't expect. So that's kind of where I'm at with my mindset is just put it out there and try to help as many people, and it'll come back in some way, shape, or form.
Heck yeah, man. Love
It'll
it.
come back in the form of awesome Instagram posts of gigantic smallmouth.
True. Yeah, if you guys want to just see big fish, you can just go follow Dan, follow GLF, and you'll see all that stuff. It's pretty wild stuff. Especially when you bounce around to like all the other brands in Pradco, you see like their websites, their socials, and then you go to like Dan's, and Dan doesn't hold back. It's just like pow, giants, and the other ones are like good bass. you're like trophy. I swear, every freaking
I think for me, it's continuing to prove to people that finesse fishing catches big fish. I think there's a real stigma about finesse fishing that you just catch little ones. We're going to talk a lot about stuff tonight, but we actually produced a finesse boot camp that we've just released. We just started. It's 11. This first season's 11 videos, and it's starting out really kind of vanilla and really high level basics. But as we get week to week further and closer to that last episode, we're really going to get into the weeds of these techniques like spy baiting, finesse underspin, drop shot, where it's like really in depth. And honestly, I can't even think of a secret I've got left after going through that. So, I encourage people to go check that out. Subscribe. We're going to release one. We got one dropping tomorrow, and every week we're going to do one. So it ends in like kind of close to June or something. And then we're going to try to carry it forward next year as well, work with our pros to keep it going.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch. I might just watch one and I'll come back and I'll give everybody the cliff notes.
Well, yeah, but or let them watch it on his channel. Give him the views.
Like,
what are
you
we
want to
talking
know
about?
how good the tips are? I'll save the last 10%.
I can promise you they're fantastic. So is this on the GLF page?
Yeah, it's on the GLF YouTube channel. Honestly, I don't really care where people watch it. You guys want to steal some clips, whatever. For me,
I care for you.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to grow the channel a little bit, but honestly, for us, it's just getting people aware about how great finesse fishing is and educate them, because there's a lot of stigma and mystery around it still.
Which is wild because it's 2026. I'm like, why are we, whoa, small baits, they are finessey.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah, the new spy bait looks cool. All right, fine. I guess we're just going to show baits here real quick. Why not? I have them in front of me.
I'm pushing it.
Before you show it, I want to tell a story. So this bait has been around for, actually, I got some on my desk. We've been working on this bait for 3 years. And we knew we had something special when I had this like 3D printed model, and we went out and fished it. We actually put components in it, glued it together, and we were catching fish on the 3D version. But really, let's preface this. So spy baits suck for losing fish. A lot of time the fish grab it by the back, and I was really frustrated with that. And just my nature to try to solve problems. So we set out the original solution was, well, our jerk baits we use have 3 hooks. So let's just put 3 treble hooks on this bait. Turns out no matter how much you yell at your engineer, he's not going to do it because it doesn't work. So I went, okay, I was told by 2 of our guys, you can't do it. It cannot be done. And I went, okay, well, there's a challenge.
Bet.
I went to Japan. So I'm sitting there. It took me a couple days to come up with it, but I went to Japan like 3 years ago. No, not 3 years ago. Like 3 years prior to that.
Okay.
And I bought this bait, and it had this hook with a magnet on top and no hooks on the bottom.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, maybe we could do something like that. So then, I went to work trying to put a single hook on, magnets and split rings, and none of them really did what I wanted them to do. But we figured out. I was like, well, let's just put the hook on top. And everyone's like, whoa, that's genius. And 3 years later, the main engineer, Tyler, who's incredible at bearing with me and putting up with me, we worked together. He flew up here. We fished on the water 2 years ago, dialed this thing, multiple versions, dialed it in. And here we are today at this bait that I didn't even know people would really care about. And you guys can show the bait now, but I can for sure say that in the history of Great Lakes finesse, no bait has created this type of hype.
Oh, it's sticky hooks, man. They're in my flesh.
So the goal wasn't just to create a hook that you can lose fish. Our goal was to create a bait that got the most bites in the category. So we wanted a spy bait that not only got more bites than the other ones, we wanted a spy bait that was super premium in every way. Like, I would often upgrade my hooks or the split rings or whatever on the spy baits I would buy. This one, right out of the pack, has all of the components and the details I would want. So BKK super slide hooks, matte blades, 3 times strong split rings, 3D eyes. You won't see that on other spy baits. We've got a water through gill. What that does is it creates a unique vibration and it creates a drag on the bait. So it's a different feel when those fish come in behind and feel that. It triggers them, I believe, more. And then, of course, that top breakaway hook, which we ended up filing a patent for because we think it's so innovative, the way we were able to hide that whole anchor and keep it so that it was perfectly still, which is really important. If you have any motion in the components, the bait won't run true. And what we found through testing all the spy baits on the market were that there was only 1 or 2 that actually ran straight at various speeds. Most of the ones that you see available, just like as soon as you start reeling them at a certain speed, they flop sideways.
Yeah.
They just swim sideways and it doesn't look natural. So everything was so dialed in, the weighting system with the top hook, everything had to be really fine-tuned. And I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of our team. This wasn't me alone. It was like a full-fledged effort from top to bottom. So many people were involved, and the more people and the more struggles we went through to get to this point, the more stress I felt about this better self, because we put people through a lot to get to this point. And so at the Classic, I'm setting up on the Friday. We launched the bait on the Friday. The video drops at 9 a.m. I had scheduled the video, so I didn't even manually upload it. It was just like scheduled to drop. And I'm here setting up the booth. And it wasn't even like 9:05, and there's people coming to the booth while I'm setting up. The show doesn't open till 11 for the bass guys, but I guess people who are setting up saw it, and they're walking over and like, I see the spy bait. They're trying to pick it up, and I'm trying to set them all straight, and they're picking them up. I'm like, can you just leave them alone? I'm telling them to leave those spy baits alone. Anyway, like I had already, by the time the show even opened, we were sold out of the ghost perch, which I feel like we could have sold thousands of. It's this ghost perch, see-through perch. Within the first 2 hours, we were like completely sold out. Online, in like at the show, people were mad they couldn't get them. They were asking when the next shipment was, and like it just blew me away. Like I looked at Matt because he was working the booth. He's my tournament partner, and we just looked at each other and we're like, well, so much for thinking spy baits were a secret. I thought we were sneaky. We're like, we're good at spy baiting. No one's going to pay $20 for a bait. And we're like, meanwhile, everyone throws these things. So yeah, it's certainly an eye opener. And the Juvie Craw, I remember like that thing was just chaos, but this has already taken it to the next level. Just the media that's reached out, people in the industry, competing brands, people that I work with are just like, man, that was smart. Like, great work. So
heck yeah, really it was. And in the chat, and Paul and I ourselves, we were like, I know there is a bait that has a top hook like this. It doesn't have the same functionality.
Is it the Glimmer?
It's not a spy bait. I just was
it's something like that. I think it's like a Glimmer shad. And it's just kind of like you twitch it and like raw.
It's the Temco.
Yeah, that's
Temco
it. That's the
Glimmer
one.
7. Yeah. So I was like, Paul and I for like an hour, we were like, what is that
I
bait?
could see it. I could see the color. I just didn't have it in my hand.
I just found out,
but it's not even close to the same thing.
It's not.
They're not even. It's just the fact that there are 3 hooks. Not
it was really just the top hook that I was looking at on that one. But that's a strolling hard bait. This is a spy bait. They serve different purposes, right?
Yeah, they look really different. The hook mechanism is completely different.
That one's got a magnet. It doesn't slide. They're just
the slide mechanism of your top hook is like freaking nuts. So it's like it's in a chamber there, you guys, and it actually comes out, and then it can free swing. Yeah, that's why it's called the stay pinned.
I'll show it. So this is it in action. I literally have done this 3,000 times in the last 5 days.
Your fingers probably feel great.
Yeah.
Have you been hooked 5,000
times? Fish comes in, gets it. Like during the cast, you can throw it like you want. It will not move. It stays perfectly in that spot. Mm-hmm. Set the hook. I'm trying to get this thing. It pops right out on the hook set. So it swings freely. It's essentially like having 3 treble hooks on a bait. So honestly, I feel like we went from 60 to 70% landing ratio with a spy bait to well in the 90s where I don't even stress anymore. And then when you're done fighting the fish, so this thing slides back and forth. You can kind of see it there. You push it forward, push it. I mean, there's a video online of me doing this. It's a lot easier to see, but you just push this in. And that's it. It's already back in. So it takes 2 seconds. The first time you do it, you might, fumble with it for a second. Once you've done it like 3 or 4 times, you're like, yeah, that's simple.
Yeah, it took me about 3 or 4 times for sure. The first time I was like, what do you mean? How do you do that? And I was trying to push the hook in. But what you just did there, if you take your fingernail and you just tuck that little pad eye in, it goes in.
Yeah. So it's the fastest way. So really excited about it. I love spy baits. I had sent Jason Christie. He's on our pro staff team with Pradco. 3 black ones for St. Clair when he was going up north. He didn't end up using them because he just didn't take the time to in practice. Those guys are very focused. They don't really have time to experiment with new things. So he didn't have them. I'd run out of mine. I had a tournament in the fall, and I was like, give me those back. And he mailed them back to me so I could use them for my tournament in the fall. And I ended up catching 2 fish on it in that tournament. So I was happy I took them back. Yeah, that black is sneaky. That was the color I was using.
Yeah, and you've caught some freaking giants on this already. I think you were teasing this bait to us maybe months ago. and you're just like, I can't show you the bait yet, but I caught this fish on it. And it was like a 7-pounder, and I was like, cool, man, that's neat.
Yeah.
Why you gotta make me feel so bad? God,
Well,
it was awesome.
we live in a good area for big ones, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
The average is pretty good here, so. Yeah, no, we filmed the video last summer. That was filmed in July. So we've put a lot of hours on this bait. The biggest thing is making sure that hook will last. Because it's been done before. We didn't know how it'd perform. If you're not careful with it, like if you're using, heavy gauge pliers or something, you could bend the hook, but we do sell replacement hooks, and it just pops out. It's a double hook. So you can just pop it right off if you don't want to use it or whatever, and the bait will actually still swim straight even without the hook.
Oh, nice.
Hook. So it gives you options. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, talk a little bit of products. Now we got to talk a little bit about tournaments, right? We got to give people the tips. Like you said, you've been sharing all your secrets in your new series, which is cool. So I'd be curious because we get a lot of either I've never done a tournament before, or I'm new to tournaments, or I've done like 2 or 3. And that's kind of like the purpose of this show is we want to, bring the experts in and help people see how they can improve and sharpen those tournament skills. And ideally get them to go to their first tournament, right? And that might be a kayak adventure series. It might be a, KBF event. It might be whatever it is. Local derbies are great too, whatever. Look up your local chapter, whether you're in a boat or you're in a kayak, you're fishing from the bank, or you just go you versus you, which we talked about with Bailey last show, which was awesome. Like great tip, something that Paul and I are going to do. It's just like catch your 5 fish bag for the day, you versus you. It's a fun little challenge. But I'd be curious, Dan, like with your 25 years of tournament experience, right? What is maybe one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who's considering getting into tournaments or doing some more fishing tournaments?
Go in there with an open mind. Don't be discouraged. You're not gonna win every event. You're certainly it's not a game of, you're gonna strike out a lot. And when you strike out, just learn from it. You take that as experience because you'll use that in the next tournament. Certainly, go in with the hope that you're gonna win. The one thing that I think a lot of people get in their head, but I think like stick to your strengths, really look at what are your strengths and try to pick a small piece of the body of water that you're fishing and just focus in on that area. I think a lot of people get carried away with like trying to run around a whole lake. And oftentimes it's just the person, the handful of anglers that kept their lure wet the longest. So kind of learned that over the years is like, just do your map work ahead of time. Pick an area, even if you've never been to the lake before, pick an area that looks good, based on the information you've got, spawning areas, deep water. Pick a small area and just figure out that area. Odds are there's fish in that area, and just figure it out, like in that small zone. Don't get running around, and then just like use every single one as a learning experience. The amount of tournament wins I have are as a result of the failures that came before it. Just knowing what not to do, I made that mistake last time, I won't do it again. And that's what gets me the win. So,
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. And it's going to be funny, you guys. You're going to watch 10 episodes of this show and you're going to be like, keep hearing kind of the same advice. And that's because these guys know what they're talking about, right? Like, so they spend the time on the water. They're not going in it like, hey, I'm just going to win every single time. So they're setting their mindset right. Not moving to too many spots is always a good one. And the one that I really love that you said is like the guy who wins is the guy who kept his lure wet the longest, right? Like the same one, not he's dumping the kitchen sink in the lake. And I can think of 2 kayak adventure series that I have participated in. Paul's done one of these 2 when we were at, what was the Pennsylvania one? Susquehanna. Susky. So we were there, and then I did one in Whitehall, Michigan, and like the guys who did the best in Whitehall were throwing spinner baits the whole time, like start to finish, 1,000 casts. Like it was just not. I'd roll by them, they're just like zzz, zzz, just ripping it, right? And it was what it took to just get bit. And then the last one we did, our buddy Creek Crawler was just throwing a buzz bait all the live long day for 2 days straight, thousands of casts of that, right? And those are the guys who like overall performed much better than we did, as we were like, I'll try these for a little bit. I'll try these for a little bit. Right. So I think that's really good advice. I think it's something that people have to put into practice in non-tournament times just to get used to. Like, what if you only fished this finesse bait today, or you only fished a glide bait today, and you didn't have access to 5 boxes of tackle and all the terminal that exists? Like, that will throw you off. That will mess with you. So practice, run and slim.
Yeah, keep it simple. I mean, the other big one is people try to win practice. They catch all their fish when they go practice, and then there's no fish left. Just don't do that. Yeah, I try not to. Honestly, I don't try to hook any fish. We fish our baits with no hooks. We got little tricks that we use to see the fish or feel the fish. But generally, we're rolling our hooks and stuff in practice. You hear it all the time. Oh man, I crushed them the day before, and then they catch nothing.
Yeah, so, you blew out your spots. Way to go.
I remember we were talking with Christine Fisher, and she was like, it's especially important in kayak fishing because the number of spots you can hit is so limited. So when you find a good area, it's like if you see 1 or 2 fish in an area, and she'll throw like, a worm with no hook, no barb, right? And then you're getting bit up, and you're like, it's time to leave. I've been here too long already. And then you kind of make that note, and you try your 5 spots, 6 spots in practice, and you mark out the ones in practice where you think you saw the most fish and got the most action, but did not blow it out.
Yeah, it's tough to do. Like, mentally, you want to just fish. So you're like, well, I'm supposed to catch these guys, right? No, not today, tomorrow. Right. But that's practice plays a crucial role in success in tournaments too. So especially if you're like us and you show up the day of the tournament, like we usually do, and then you jump in, like, don't expect to do awesome because you don't know the area. You only know what you saw on Google Maps or whatever apps you're using, right? So it definitely makes a big difference. All right. Ryder Daiwa says, hey, Dan, when is the Tackle Bros collab custom color? That's like a mouthful just to say that. Tackle Bros collab custom color, new spy bait color dropping.
I'm going to say not anytime soon. Not ever. I've done some custom stuff, and it's a nightmare. So
not ever. Not never. Not ever.
Now it does get me to my question, because you guys dropped some new colors, and I like how intentional you guys are with color, because there's actually only maybe 3 colors that I would consider are overlapping, and in super clear water they're different. But you've got like about 3 or 4 colors that overlap across what is now like 12 or 15 baits. What colors did you guys release on these spy baits? And I know there's like 2 different versions of the colors. So can you walk us through that?
Yeah. I mean, I've got them. I mean, I can pull them all out and stuff, but
I can show you the colors. I'll pull them up.
Yeah. Why don't you do that? Pull them up,
give me a second.
and we can go through why I think each one was important. And, people ask me all the time, what's the best color? I'm like, these are all the colors I use. So I mean, this is Shiner. This one is amazing. This is just a color that is so natural. A spy bait is a very natural, subtle presentation. This is like when I stare at, it never gets old to me looking at this bait. I've got one in my hands right now, and every time I look at it, I'm in awe of the paint jobs that we were able to do here.
And these ones are not clear. You have a couple we'll get to that are kind of see-through, but these ones are your signature matte.
Yeah, so this one, the Shiner here is actually under sunlight, a bit clear. The belly is a bit see-through. Like, you can see the weights through the bait. You can't really see it here, but yeah, like it's because it's laying down on a table. But in the water, there is a bit of transparency, kind of like a minnow, like a minnow in the water. You can kind of see through their skin a little bit. So I think we absolutely nailed this color. This can work. I mean, everywhere you go, there's like minnows.
So natural.
It's so natural. Yeah. Ghost perch. Yeah. So this is like your clear water perch pattern. That color, people are going nuts for when they see it in person. They're like, you nailed the perch. Most companies don't nail the perch, but we really spent a lot of time to nail the hues in this color to make it really natural.
Orange belly, baby.
Yeah.
Dude, people jack up perch so often.
It's the most. I'm gonna see a curse word. It's the most. It is. It's the one they get wrong the most. I swear. Half the time when someone names something, we were talking about the show.
Yeah.
Half the time someone names something perch, it's a bluegill. I mean, it's not even really close. It's like I'm like, this is not even. They're not even the same family. Like, why'd you paint a walleye? Like, what are we looking at? It's great. It's really perch. It's actually very frustrating. The number of times I've clicked on perch on from a megabass and been like, why am I here? You're better off going with the AU. It's closer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so this is Morning Dawn, really popular color, super requested. This one, I mean, I've used this color for smallmouth. I don't use it as much, but definitely like our southern anglers, like spotted bass and largemouth anglers, like really like this color. The guys in the office at Arkansas, Oklahoma, they're like, this is their favorite color for their bodies of water.
I'm not surprised. Like that's the sexy shad crowd. That's, you know what I mean? Like that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm seeing a couple of questions here. One of them's like, how it's not really that subtle. There's 2 props on it. I think if they fished it, they'd see it's pretty subtle. Not to throw any shade, but it is like it. You don't really see the blades spinning. They're more like vibrating. They spin so fast. Specs, it's a 1/4 ounce, so you can still long bomb this thing. It's 70 millimeters, so it's like just under 3 inches long. Yep. So it's a smaller spy bait. We found
that's what I was gonna say.
What's that?
I was gonna say the same thing because everything I've got's in the like 4 1/4 range for the most part.
And a 1/2 ounce. Usually heavier than a 1/4 for sure.
Yeah. So we've really started, especially up here with these bigger fish that have seen a lot of spy baits. Like we're finding going down to the smaller size was kind of the ticket for us. So,
well, people are loving this one right here, the ghost shad.
Yeah. So another one that was requested by our pros. We're lucky we work with the pros we have, and this is kind of one that was just an all around. They all agreed that they use this color.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So this one's like starts purple. The back goes to like a faded green, and then all the way at the back, you get to like the black on top, and then you get like a blue at the back. And the one thing you did mention, you mentioned the blades. Talk to us about the finish on the blades.
The matte?
Yeah, so we were experimenting with different blade colors. Even going like almost solid black, and we found that this combination, this like kind of tarnished blade but still silver, got us the most bites. It doesn't put as much flash off as the traditional spy baits that are out there, and I think that's a big reason why this one gets bit more.
Yeah, you usually get a mirror finish, like standard silver.
Yeah, like super chrome. Yeah, really 100%. Chrome. They're like super clean. Like the competitors will have like their names stamped in them. Like they really took the time to make the blades really sexy. But we found that we're just playing with different blades during we tested so many versions of this thing, and those blades just seemed to really, it was noticeable. We were getting more bites with them.
Yeah. This one right here, like the next color I would get would
don't buy this one. No one buy this one.
Yeah,
buy all the other ones. Don't buy matte black.
Or buy it and send it to me. All of them.
Right. So this one, I mean, there's no secret. If you look at the Great Lakes Finesse lineup, pretty much every bait we make comes in black. I mean, it's my favorite color. We used to spray paint our spy baits before some manufacturers started to make black, which kind of ticked us off.
The secrets.
I mean, there's no secret anymore. If you go and watch the product video, this is the color we're throwing to get. I mean, we're under pressure with camera guys and stuff to get fish to get bites, and that was the color that got.
So you're like, here we go.
That pressure is very real. There's the financial pressure, and then there's just the pressure knowing that literally these dudes are staring at you for like 6 hours, and they're like, they're gonna kill me if I don't catch a fish.
Yeah.
Try. By the way, like people always think it's so cool to have a camera crew with you. It's horrible. Do not recommend ever.
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, thankfully, the baits they work, right? We make baits to catch fish. So, I mean, this one, we had 5 fish catches in 45 minutes, filmed everything we needed, and we were done.
Okay.
With fish catches.
Yeah. So it wasn't a problem for you. Got it.
Okay. I spent 8 hours going around Mille Lacs crying.
Well, that one was easy. That was not a problem. It was it's some of the other ones that I've
Michigan
had not
one?
good days.
The random backwater lakes.
Yeah, the second you get into like this random backwater.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, brutal. All right, Matt, perch. We got up.
Yeah. So, I mean, up here in the north, perch is just a huge forage, right? So there's 2 perch in the color lineup of the 11. This one is especially better when the water is a little bit stained. So we just wanted a more solid perch that those fish could find. But I will say, don't dismiss this one in clear water too, especially if it's cloudy or there's a little bit of chop. Sometimes we'll go to this so they can just track it better and see it better in those like more, I call them harsh conditions.
Well, it's funny when you guys came out with the color lineup and I saw how many were that sort of more clear. I was actually really surprised because that handles light so much differently than all your other baits. Like all your other baits are meant to be this like non-obvious, it ends up being more lifelike because fish don't necessarily reflect a ton of water when they're underwater or light when they're underwater. Right. So, and it's just something that's a little different. So I was surprised to see that. This one tracked though. This is like the one that I knew was going to be in the lineup. This is one I would have like if you gun to my head, what are they going to make? This would have been one of them.
Yeah, no, it was a must have. Like you couldn't pick between the two. They both serve different purposes. So
yeah.
So this one here, I showed you that 3D print. I mean, yeah. So this one here, we just wanted a white. We realized like they were eating the 3D printed ones. So I was like, well, we got to have that kind of color. So we started playing with different whites, and this white with a bit of a like if you hold it in your hand, there's actually like a purple hue, and smallmouth love purple. So it's kind of like a whitish purple. And it's kind of like a darker, more toned down white. So it's very subtle, but it's still white. So I don't know. I feel like we nailed this one. It's especially good in like dirtier water too, like stained water and stuff. So
yeah, this one is like that sort of cracked pattern where it looks like they almost like baked it, overcooked it. So it is that it ends up almost being gray because it's white with like this cracked earth looking paint job on it. And you're right. When I saw it under light, I actually thought the whole thing was purple. When we saw it under light, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. It was actually inspired by Mega Bass makes a similar color. Yep. We changed it a little bit to our liking, but we used it in top waters and stuff. This is I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. So I'll give Mega Bass credit for the crackle.
Hey, you got to give Mega Bass a lot of credit for a lot of stuff. I mean, those folks, I mean, Dan and his team are legendary for testing baits longer than they probably should. Mega Bass is no different. they gotta have a similar philosophy.
Yeah. So real quick, Dan, James was asking, can you change these hooks out to single hooks? 3 lakes where I live require barbless single hooks. Would it still run true if you were to do that?
I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't test that. So really,
it's up to you to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna try to sell you on something if I don't really know.
Well, let's be honest. Spy baits are kind of like they fall into the jerkbait category of there are some baits that anyone could make. Almost anyone can make a crankbait because crankbaits aren't that hard. The bill dictates and some of the body shape dictates almost everything, and you can buy a million blanks. Mm-hmm. Jerkbaits, on the other hand, there's a trillion things that can go wrong with a jerkbait, and spy baits, I think, even more so, end up needing to be engineered because it's a finesse bait. So any little change in the presentation makes a change to how the bait is supposed to be out there and do what it's supposed to do. It's just a much harder bait to nail. Like you guys picked like the hardest one.
This is like, I thought it was going to be easy when we started, and I realized this was so hard. There's something so subtle on this bait that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want to give up the secret of because it took us so long to figure it out and it gave us so many headaches.
Yeah.
But from an engineering perspective, there's something so simple and so dumb that you would never expect that would make the bait swim straight or nose up or swim properly and straight, like not fall, go up on its side.
Right.
That's not even like the internals, which is a whole other nightmare of engineering. And yeah, there's a whole lot that goes into this that I did not sign up for, but you know, you're halfway through the project, you can't stop, right? So
oh god, no.
Yeah,
not too far.
That's where I look at glide baits, swim baits, jerk baits, spy baits, like all of those. Yeah, people can make them. They're mostly not made well. Like a lot of, we get like super cheap knockoff ones in the past, and like it's always the crankbaits are fine, the top waters are okay. Like the chatter baits were fine. Remember those, Paul? Like other than the fact that the hooks unfolded themselves at one point. Other than that, they function properly, right? But it's always the friggin' jerk baits and these like finesse style baits, because they take, like you were just talking about the internals. There's so much that goes into the engineering of these lures so that they run true. They are behaving the way we want them to. And they either like are sink, slow sink, fast sink, suspending. There's so many different ways that I can manage this thing. With a spy bait, like I want to run it right on top of the grass. I'm like 20 feet of water, right on top of the grass. I want it to stay here. And if I don't do it right, you talked about earlier, like it could just, some spy baits just like lay sideways. They like just blow out. They don't do what they're supposed to do. So there's so much that goes into that. You got to get it dialed in. And a lot of, unfortunately, like a lot of ones out there, just not good, right?
There's not, I mean, there's very few that exist that swim properly.
Agreed. And this one we got Pro Purple. This one's cool. It's got a black head, purple back, and then it tapers out to white, and then it's got a clear belly. Man, if you're not catching fish, you're definitely catching fishermen. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that one is really nice. But purple is incredible for smallmouth, so it had to be.
Yeah.
People always make fun of us for like liking purple. I'm like, yeah, but I can't help that the fish keep eating it. I don't know what you want from me.
Who's making fun of us?
Everybody.
I'll fight them.
Got a lot of people to fight
right now. Line up. Let's go. Purple is an awesome color and it catches giant fish. Also, I think this color is awesome. And it has like a green hued head, which is freaking nuts.
Yeah. You know, the idea for the solid heads was just to try to give them a target so that they would smash it harder rather than like one solid body across the top. So there's a little bit of, you know, thought that goes into creating those more solid heads. We want them to hit it from the side and the face if we can, because it gives us the best chance on the hook set to get all three hooks.
It sounds like a nightmare to unhook the fish, but honestly, that's better than losing it. So that color they're talking about is Pro Pink. Super cool. And then LG Bone. This one is a known color. I think if you've probably heard of this one. This one's got that like kind of pro blue head. Goes all the way along the back. You get the chartreuse belly and then the white bone pattern all the way across the side.
Fire.
Yeah. As far as I know, this is the only spy bait to have this pattern. We love this in jerk baits. I mean, this is one of my go-to colors in jerk baits for 15, 20 years. So we were like, let's give it a shot. So we tried it and we were like, wow, they eat it. Okay, cool. It's got to be part of it. I didn't know, right? I didn't know if they would eat it in a spy bait because I didn't know if it was more of a reactionary thing with the jerk bait where they were just angry. But there are we were like, oh, they're eating it as well. So okay, perfect.
Well, they're usually angry, so that
they're always angry.
Yeah,
that's their secret.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, hit it. Pro Mist.
Pro Mist is one.
Yeah, this is my like really stealthy when the conditions are like really tough and we're like we want a minnow that is trying to hide in the water column and those fish to feel like they found it. So that's kind of the thought process behind this one.
Pro Mist is cool. It's like a white smoke all the way through, and then it's got this dot pattern right along the back third. Yeah, this one actually looked minnowy right off the jump, just because the gray on the back. At least like in the Great Lakes minnow. Yeah, like when you have them in your hand, like the patterns are really dialed in. Like there's little details and things on the back too that the pictures just don't do the colors justice.
You need 6 pictures per color to do it justice. That's what we know for sure. It's not possible. Try making thumbnails with all those baits. Good luck.
Yeah, enjoy that. So when you're fishing a spy bait, I remember the first time I looked up like how to fish a spy bait, and I was like, what what?
Yeah, it's wild.
It's just a very different. Anyways, tell me what your rig looks like for fishing a spy bait.
Yeah, I usually use our 7.4 medium light spinning rod.
The go-to.
Yep, 7.4 or 7.8. And so 7.8, like a longer rod, whippier rod. It's got more, it can load up and absorb the shock because you've got pretty thin hooks. I use a 2,500 or 3,000 spinning reel, whatever. Normally it's 2,500, honestly. Trying to think, a leader, I'll use like a 6-pound leader is generally the go-to because it's not a bottom contact leader. So that's generally something I consider. So if I'm using baits that I'm swimming, I use a lighter leader. If I'm using bottom contact baits, I go with a heavier leader, like an 8-pound or 10-pound. And
How long?
So my rule of thumb is as long as the rod. So that way when you're casting, it's not in your reel.
Guides.
Yeah, like it's not in the actual reel, like the spinning reel part, but it's through the first, like when you cast, it's above the first guide. So that's generally kind of where I put the leader. I try to go with as long as I can. Like when I drop shot, sometimes my leader will go into my reel depending on like how my setup is, but it's pretty rare. And then to fish a spy bait it's got to be one of the easiest baits to fish. It's like a sneaky underspin. You cast it out and just reel it back really slowly. Just keep it off. Like if you think the fish are on the bottom, just keep it off the bottom. If you think they're suspended, keep it higher in the water column. The idea is that you always want to be moving the bait above their heads and you never want to stop. So even if you see a fish following it, if you kill the bait, you lose the fish. Like you will not get a chance. So even if you have to like reel and the fish like swims away, okay, just circle back and cast in that general area. But if you are reeling it and then you stop the bait, that fish will not bite it. That's what I found. I've yet to catch one on a drop. Maybe someone else has figured that out, but I haven't. So yeah, people start to panic. They start twitching it. They drop it. They're like,
I panicked.
Trying to get like, I gotta slow it down. Like, don't stop. Just do exactly what you're doing. You hear the same thing about like minnow fishing. Guys are like, don't change the cadence.
Yep.
Same thing.
And
it's like your guide screaming at you. It's like, no, just keep it. Keep going.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Yeah. All right, good job.
Tell me about like rod twitches and imparting action. We're not doing any of that.
None.
Stop.
None.
It.
Yes.
Just reel it straight and same speed. It's just going through the water column. That's it.
There's two baits that are like big time do nothing baits. One of them is this one right here, the old mule fishing bug. Just do nothing. Just let it exist. It'll take care of itself. Same situation here. Yeah. Just reel it in slow. The long leader, though, I find to be a pretty big deal. Like this is a very finessey bait. And the theory behind the long leader is you do get some bend in the leader, which is supposed to help a little bit with your action and your retrieve. And then also, obviously, it's not being seen because these fish are looking up at it. And usually it's cold. It's a really good cold water bait. And so colder water, a little bit more clear, better chance you can get spooked by a leader. So long leader was actually the thing that threw me the most. I mean, obviously, it kind of makes sense now, but like the first time I looked it up and they were like, no, this is the rig, 7'8", throw it 1 billion miles, let it give it a little slack while you're pulling it back. And then make sure your leader is like 100 yards long. Like what?
Yeah. The first video we looked up on that, Paul, when we were trying to figure this out, this was like
years ago.
It was like 20 feet. It was like a 20.
It was like
25
foot
like
leader, 10 foot. And I was like,
no, it was
you're out
20.
of your mind.
For really?
I never tied one that long, but
well, you did.
Certainly long, yeah, for sure.
It was freaking wild.
Yeah, well, that's not me. I mean, we don't do that.
So I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, no, keep it simple. Yeah, I mean, it just works. We catch a pile of fish on them.
I want to do that.
6-foot leaders, 7-foot leaders.
So that's like a tough day.
My last question on this one is, because we got a couple other baits we can get to too. Last question on this one: where do you fish them? Like what? Like there's always the spinner bait. Make sure there's grass or rocks or top water bait. If it's a chopo, make sure there's some chop in the water, or make sure it's a cloudy day. If it's whatever. Like what's the what's the recipe for success, or what are some things people should look for in throwing these?
Yeah, so the ideal situation is a slight ripple on the water, so where the surface is broken but not too wavy. So it will work when it's like glass comp. I find once it gets really wavy, they don't work too good. I usually go to something a little bit more flashy, like a underspin or something that just creates a little bit more attention. But I find the best situation for them. I mean, we use them a lot, but I'm just going to go with like, what's the best? If people are going to fish spy baits, what should you be looking for? I think like shallow is the best situation, kind of in that 5 to like 10 feet of water, flats. So like boulder flats or points. And it's a cover water bait. So like you're just casting it out, you're just fan casting an area, and you're just trying to hit targets. So like if there's a boulder or a bit of grass, you're casting along the grass or around the boulder, and you're just like covering tons and tons of water with it up shallow. You can go down the shoreline with it. You can, pretty much anything shallow. I mean, there's exceptions, like we use them in deep water, but it's not really a go-to for us in deep water. It's kind of a later resort if they're not biting other things. But yeah, definitely where we find it shines the most is like you said, at cold water. Right after they spawn, there seems to be this magic window where, like for us up here, it's kind of July. July's like the magic month for spy baits. But really, anytime there's fish up shallow, like a spy bait is excellent. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we got about a couple months for that to happen, so that's good. I'm excited. Yeah. And look, dude, I mean, I'll tell you, catching a fish on a spy bait is super fun, and it always was thrilling because it was always a gamble, and now maybe it'll be a little bit less of a gamble. Yeah,
I can tell you right now, fishing it for the whole last summer, having these like almost dialed in perfect baits last summer, they were super dialed in. We had it really dialed in come the fall, but like so much fun, and they hit them so hard. Like I think people they underestimate how hard they hit sometimes. Like sometimes it just feels like they're gonna rip the rod right out of your hand, and you wouldn't expect that with such a subtle bait. You're just reeling like super slow, and all of a sudden it's like holy smokes, that thing like hit it a mile, like 100 miles an hour.
I'm ready for that. And then just make sure to bring your pliers.
Yes, bring
for
pliers.
The many hooks that you have.
That's right.
Honestly, I'd put more hooks on it if we could.
Like, I mean, the next one, hooks for fins.
Stay extra pinned. Forever.
Like, someone made fun of me. Like they're like, "Oh yeah, put more hooks on that thing." I'm like, honestly, if I could put 100 hook points on it, I would.
Let me talk to my guy Tyler. Let's see what we got to do here.
Yeah, exactly. Tyler, 6 more hooks.
It's just a hide up koike, and it's just
all trebles. But it's
all trebles. Just a ball of hooks. You just chuck it in the water.
Everyone comes with a free de-hooker tool.
I think it's what Dylan Nuts used to win the tournament. I'm pretty sure.
Now we know what its secret is.
I figured out. It was a minnow he shook full of treble hooks. That's how you get it done. That's how you win. Super cool bait, and definitely one that will help you guys catch some giants, especially if you rig it up right. Not with the 20-foot leader, with a regular length leader. The length of the rod.
And just for people who are fishing spy baits, like if you've never fished one before, it's going to be a mind bender because you look at it and you're like, this isn't going to work. Like, this is dumb looking.
There's no way.
But when you get that first bite, you start to gain confidence with it. And then eventually you start to it turns into a go-to. But it is one of those baits where like I said, I thought we were sneaky. We're like, no one throws spy baits. But like everybody who fishes against us is throwing them.
There's not a lot of great ones, though. I have one that I would buy again.
Yeah, we've used 4
or 5. There's one I would buy again. The rest,
there's one brand that makes like a good one.
Great Lakes Finesse. That's probably the best.
Yeah.
I mean, Dura Realis would be probably the one I would get again. But yeah, this
good question about drag. Lighten up your drag. You want to pull back. So whatever you normally use with drag, dial that back a couple notches. It's going to feel like your fight's longer, but they're really thin hooks.
Yeah.
So OG hype man, we see you in chat. You can't hook set them into the moon, and you're gonna need to use your drag this time.
Heavy stick, 50-pound braid. When you're running a spy bait, you got to get that lock set.
Frozen rope, apparently. Let's talk about some of the other baits, because we have another.
Hang on, before we get into the other baits, because I want to mix it up with some of the tournament tips. Because this is the KS AAA show, so obviously, you guys are here learning about tournaments, learning about catching bigger fish. So let's shift back on the tournament scene a little bit. I was curious. So Dan, you flaunted 25 years of tournament experience. Give us a little breakdown on maybe some of your winnings, your top plays, your like claims to fame. We got Drew's always got like 48,000 trophies behind him when we're on a live.
Yeah, it's like sweep a bunch of his off. He's like,
he's like, oh gosh, pardon me. Classic.
Yeah. I was actually mesmerized. I kept trying to listen to him, and I kept looking at his trophies and his wall. I'm like, dude, you can't talk in front of that because I'm so distracted by your acting.
This over here, no big deal.
Yeah, this I was like, okay.
He's actually, his whole floor is coated in checks. He actually has to walk.
Yeah, he walks in.
His whole house. There's checks in the kitchen.
His front door is just the first place.
Yeah.
Welcome to the home of Drew Gregory.
He's got a broom. He's like sweeping up his medals.
Pardon me.
Just taking him out of the way. Oh, sorry, guys.
What a mess. My bad.
I was feeling kind of like dumb here with my couple like FLW and then all.
Yeah, no, me too.
This is amateur hour.
You forgot to keep everything. That's what you messed up, man.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a storage locker. He's not like Drew. He's not a pack.
It's all in a storage locker. He opens it up and all falls out. I just don't want to flaunt it all the time. No, but what's your tournament accolades, if you don't mind sharing?
Around here, wins are really hard to get just because of the anglers that we compete against. So like the Johnsons and Cooper and stuff. So wins up like here where I am like mean a lot. So I got several wins. My biggest one is we have the record for the biggest bag ever weighed in on the St. Lawrence River in a tournament in one day. So that's the one I'm hanging on to right now. And I talk about as much as I can because it's going to get beat eventually here. And then I'm going to be, an afterthought. So
that's keep making these baits for people. Keep putting these out, you're going to lose your record.
Winning in the most, and what is probably the mecca, the true mecca of smallmouth fish.
What was the bag? What was the weight?
It was 32.4 pounds for 5 fish.
Do the math, everybody. Divide that by 5. What?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like a 6.5 pound average.
That's every single person in this chat's PB times 2. It's wild.
So what's crazy about that is it feels great, but that win will always be tarnished by the fact that we lost our biggest fish of the day. Like
it could have been bigger.
We weighed a 7 pound and we lost one that was like I lost one that was like 8+. It bent the hook right out.
My gosh.
Yeah, it was the first fish of the day and I lost it. And then we ended up having that mega bag, and all I could think about was like what we could have had.
Are you guys allowed to use nets?
Yeah. Yeah, it never got to that point. This is the biggest fish I'd ever hooked in a tournament by far, and it just completely outmatched me.
Really? Yeah. What was it on? The lake vacuum?
It was on a drop minnow.
Ooh.
On a drop shot.
Did you go back for revenge later? This is like your white whale. You're just like always chasing this 8-pound small.
The great white buffalo.
I won't get into the brand of the hook, but to this day, I'd never tie on that hook again. That hook
burn some bridges. Burn some.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This brand messed me up. Yeah. So
I feel like we're always messing with Dan and put him on the spot to like burn another company.
No,
we were trying to. That's right.
We're like, come on, Dan.
I won't do it. I won't do it. We have brands that come after us, but I don't know. I try not to do anything.
You sure do. That's a hallmark of success, though, not the other way around. I feel like.
So one thing I'm curious, I do want to get back in the baits because I'm holding one right here that we can talk about. And we still have these things that I want to show you guys, which will be in our unboxing. We'll put this on our unboxing too, so we can do an up close look at that.
This is just a tease for our video.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever, man. Go with it. But so all right. So you put together a 32-pound bag. like you gave a couple of good tips earlier. Be curious because you guys like how you brought this brand up is a lot of it was going for like that matte finish. You had like some secrets, some tweaks that you were doing to a lot of the plastics
Neutral
baits that you were
buoyancy.
using. Like most of us are like, okay, which lure should I throw and how many times? And you were like, we're gonna mod this, we're gonna make this, I'm gonna scrub it on the carpet and like mat this sucker up and we're gonna win. And then you did. Like what led you to sort of that thought process with modifying lures and making them, you know, turn into trophy winning, you know, fish catches?
Yeah, I mean, half the time it was just by accident things we're seeing. So like for example, that matte finish was inspired because we found that as we were getting more bites with a bait, it was getting more scuffed up and it started to look really ragged. And then we're like, well, why don't we skip that process of getting the bites? And it would work better as it got more scuffed up. So we just started rubbing them into like carpet of our boat. And then one thing led to another. And we're like, okay, every bait that we throw has to now be rubbed in the carpet of our boat or on the
ceremonial scrub.
Yeah, like you'd spend like an hour and a half, an hour at times before the tournament, just like rubbing baits like on like a little cement block that I had behind my house. Like we'd be rigging rods, one guy's rubbing baits, one guy's rigging up. So yeah, that was kind of the
assembly line.
Yeah, which job you want today?
Well, it'd be a good scrubber.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the time it's just kind of like by accident, like we lose an appendage on a bait and we're like, oh, they're still eating it. Oh, wow, they're eating even better with no appendages. Oh, okay, like let's now start pulling appendages off. A lot of that, it just kind of like fluky. Like even the sneaky underspin, that was totally a fluke.
So with no appendages.
Yeah, I was down in California, my old company, and we had a brand partnership, and like so. Down there, they use underspins, but they're like kind of like heavy gauge and stuff. They're built for like California bass. Anyways, I was given a bunch of these. We took some photography for our other company. And my buddy Braden was like, oh, I'm going to try these for perch. And then we went out for a walleye opener locally, and we weren't catching anything on our traditional styles of fishing. And so he was like, well, I want to catch something. So he started using these little underspins. And he started whaling on walleyes with them. Like he just was like catching one after another, casting this little underspin. And we're like, whoa, he's like, I got a limit. He came over in his boat. He's like, I got a limit. I'm like, what? And he's like, and then he showed me what he's using. Like, come on. So anyway,
conservation limit or full limit?
No, full limit.
It's full like limit. The difference, you guys, there's a conservation license you can get where it's only 6 fish versus 12 on walleye. So you got to check. You don't know.
Well, I mean, we went like both boats went like 6 hours without a bite, and then he caught like his limit 8 in an hour.
That's crazy.
Like, he's like, I had 12, I caught 12, and I'm like, holy crow. So anyway, we started using these for walleye, but then we were just catching bass like crazy. So then we got into like this incidental bass, and so then I started using it during the bass season. I'm like, wow, there's something to this. But the problem with those southern underspins was that they weren't designed for the mouths of walleye and bass up here. They're more like suited for largemouth soft mouths. 2-aught hooks, really deep. Yeah, so we were losing a lot of fish with them. So I was like, well, let's redesign this thing with a thin hook. And that's why the sneaky underspin has a thin gauge hook, so you can use light line, get those hooks buried in there, and they don't make a big hole when you're fighting the fish. So you land more fish. People are always like, they bend out. I'm like, well, just back your drag off. Like, don't lock it up, and it'll be fine.
The number of people I've had to explain that to, that seems like something you should be able to figure out on your own. Like, why do I have to say that once a week?
Yeah, the Vision 110 is the other great example of that. Every time I hear those hooks are trash, they fold out. I'm like, what'd you throw that?
I'm like,
I've never folded them out.
It's 2026. We should understand this at this point. My God.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Nah.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how we get to our secrets, and like that's just time on the water. It's part of it. You just make tubes. We used to rip all the tentacles off our tubes because they seemed to get better the less tentacles they had. And then for a while we were like, sweet, tentacleless tubes. And then the Ned rig came out.
Plastic.
Then the Ned rig came out and we're like, well, that's essentially a tube with no tentacles.
Yep, so you got it.
Now, so it's not as effective anymore. But for a while, before the Ned rig became popular, we were throwing tubes with no tentacles. and just one of those little secrets that we were doing. But yeah, that's kind of how we came with it. So basically all the baits that we make, we just take all the tournament secrets we got and we try to put them into the baits so that people don't have to figure all this stuff out. They just pull out of the pack and it's got our tournament secrets.
What a wild concept that is, but it's such a great, option for people. Like, and you offer premium baits. Not gonna lie, some of your prices are more of like a premium price, but we've talked about it before on the show. Like, we feel like the durability is there, they hold up, and you're building performance baits. Like, these are lures that you've tested for years and years and years. You've won tournaments with them. You've figured out all these secrets, these tips, and you've just baked it into the product and put it out there. And we think that's cool. Buy it or don't, do what you want. But I think that's a valid reason to pick up some. We had a couple of good questions here in chat. So one of them right here from Alan is Alan the Bass, who I saw at the Classic. What's up, Alan? Does GLF have any plans to come out with their own version of the Urchin Dice baits?
Yeah, I mean, I'll speak to that. So here's where we're at with it. We think that the surface has been scratched there with those. Yeah, a little bit. But what I'm learning, like, they're all really effective. I'm not going to deny that. Like, we use them, but we're learning about the baits as we use them more. Mm-hmm. And we're finding that a lot of the baits have issues with them that you just wouldn't know because you just time with these styles of baits. So anyway, we're definitely toying with things that we feel make a lot of sense. So I wouldn't rule it out, but I will say that if we don't feel like we've got something better than what already exists out in the market, we probably won't do it. We've scrapped a lot of projects where we're like, we don't feel like we can make a better product than what exists, and we'll just focus on other things instead. Yeah. So it's certainly on our radar, and I will say that we are definitely toying with designs and prototypes. Nice. Very lots of different versions to figure out what makes the most sense.
Yep. And you guys are constantly toying with various prototypes, so you never know what's going to end up making it to that final stage ready for production until you guys put it through the ringer, put it through the test. But I do love how you put that. You've said it before in the past. That's why you have been on our show as many times as you have, because you're legit about this. But if you can't make it better, you're not going to do it just as a cash grab, because you could. Right now, your popularity, backing a Pradco, you could go ahead and just make an urchin bait, make a dice bait today, and you'd probably sell them all, right? You would just crush on it. But you're not going to do it if it's not going to be better. And that right there is a reason why we're always talking to you. There's a lot of brands out there that'll just do it to do it. They'll make something crappy and they'll be like, look at its tentacles. Neat. And they're going to sell the heck out of it, but it's not going to work that well. I don't know about you guys, but I don't love seeing that. It's not that cool. So, yes, beside that, I love that answer. We also had, what was I missing here? Oh, my guy, Sneaky River Tom, caught a muskie by accident on a Vision 110. The hooks are fine. The hooks are fine. Finesse hooks are fine if you use the right line. Dan was talking about with the spy bait going 6-pound test, for example. Light line, light drag, loosen the drag up. Use it on the right gear, spinning gear, medium light. You're going to be fine. If you have a stiff backbone rod, too heavy a line, and too high a drag, you're going to fold hooks out 10 times out of 10. That's how it works. So if you're struggling with that, I'd recommend lighten the line, lighten the rod, back off the drag, see if it helps.
I had to make that video.
You did. And it still didn't. It still didn't clock, dude. People were still like, "What are you talking about, Paul? You're full of it."
I'm not even good at fishing, and I'm having to make that video. That's crazy.
I think what people miss with the light line is the baits actually perform a lot better. They come through the water better. They look more natural. They flow better. You get more bites, not because it's just thinner line and they can't see it as good. It's just the bait is presented a lot better.
Try fishing a jerk bait on spider wire. It's gonna suck.
That was the first braid I used, and it made me go, braid's horrible. And I just didn't realize there was actually good braid out there. You remember, we were talking about this the other day, right, Paul? It was what marketing was spider wire doing in the 90s and aughts, where everybody they're like, yes, this is good braid. But then now we're all like, okay, we've been bamboozled.
Oh no, we got tricked so
hoodwinked.
hard. That is the worst. Golly.
This not good. But at the time, everybody was like, spider wire. Heck yeah, bro. It's trash.
There's
all right.
There.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get back into bait. So that was a good detour, a good segue. But you got another new bait here, new size, I should say. This bait has existed, and we like it a lot. This is Dropkick Shad, now in a 3.25 inch. So if you guys are fans of paddle tails, it's kind of the juice. Like, I mean, we got some motion going on with these. Also, this is that, yeah, go to that, just jump to the perch color, Paul, because like I need people to see when people get perch. Getting perch in plastic is really friggin' hard. So the fact that I think you guys pulled this off pretty well. You guys tell me what you think. But yeah, let's go through some about this bait. Dan?
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, for us, it's about like releasing what we believe in. So this size, this 3.25, 3.3 inch range is the most popular size for anglers. We still I personally like fishing the 2.75 more, and I probably still will more. But this size here is the one that's just so requested. The amount of we get 2 or 3 messages a day people asking for this size. And it still is applicable to us. Like we'll use it on as a chatterbait trailer. We'll use it in the fall when they start to A-rig, like an A-rig. Trailer. We'll use it in the fall when they start to eat on those bigger forage. We'll use it in dirtier water when we want more attention. So this is definitely going to get play from us. And but certainly this is exciting for a lot of anglers that love the durability of the Dropkick Shad. Like we talked about price, it's high, but I can tell you, like go buy a pack and tell me you can't catch 20 fish with one of these baits. The durability is incredible, but without
even the crappie.
Yeah.
Oh, everything will eat it for sure. And
but like it even holds up the crappie. And if you can hold up the crappie and rock bass, like you're doing pretty good.
Oh, durability wise, yeah, for sure. They do hold up really well, and like that, you've got that plastic real thin at the back with the tail, so action's crazy. Paul and I talk about this. One thing that we notice, we got James here saying sneaky underspin, BFS combo, 8-pound line. This thing on a sneaky is pretty wild because you can run it actually really slow, and like that tail kick, it just kicks up right away. So like the action's immediate. Yeah, exactly. Like, and then you just run it as slow as you want, and that tail the whole time is like da-da-da-da-da. It's like a machine gun. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah, the slow speed tail kick is crazy. Like that's right when I started fishing that bait. That was actually the first thing that I noticed. I was like, dude, it like
just went
hyper slow, and it's still just like
yeah. That's what we were going for. We wanted something that we could really, really slow roll. And there's an in between, like there's big wave tail action swim baits on the market, and there's a lot of really tight ones like that just like kind of like shutter.
Yep.
There's nothing kind of in between. So that was where we were looking to get when we were designing that tail action. It's kind of like a more in the middle, subtle but not too subtle. And like even though it's really durable, it still kicks really good. So yeah,
it's right in between like a mag draft and the Osakana slide. Like it's literally dead center. Like the mag draft's like doof, 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 doof. That Osakana slide is like this little wiggle, and it is like dead center.
I think like the wildest kick I've seen recently is the Spro Megalojohn.
That's aggressive.
That thing is nuts. It's literally you're like, dude, what the frick? First time I threw it, I was like,
what are you doing? Take it easy.
It's nutty.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Calm down.
Oh man.
I will mention about the bait that it's got the true neutral buoyancy formula. So it will sit perfectly level. So on a drop shot, we use it a lot as well. And we just
that's how I
it kills on drop shots. We actually were dragging it last year a lot. Was it last year or the year before? I don't know. The first time we did it.
No, it was last year. Last year it was like the I would try a bunch of baits, and then if nothing was working, I was always like, well, I know this will work, and I would
just let it sit. Yeah, if the water's moving, like it would just kick. You let it sit, but if the water was still or calm, like I was just dragging it and then just getting annihilated.
Yeah, this is Matt's favorite bait in the whole lineup at like tournament partner. I'm like, what's your favorite one of everything? He's like the dropkick shad.
The thing about it is there's no bad time to throw it. Hot summer day. You roll it slow and low, you're going to figure it out. Cold water day, you throw it up shallow, they're going to smack the heck out of it. You want to catch any species, and you just want to catch something. You'll do it. That'll work. You'll get something for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Awesome. All right. We do have one more thing I want to take a look at, but like I said, we got to spice it up. We got to shake it up with some tips, some guidance for folks. So one thing, I don't know if we got into it on this show, but we've definitely gotten into it on previous shows. I just want to re-update folks on it. Why do you think, like, so you guys go finesse small baits, right? We're going light line. We're going medium light rods. Like what kind of leads you in that direction over upsizing? It was the opening question of the show is upsize, downsize. And your answer, downsize. Meanwhile, not just like random normal people, but like pros might say, I'm going to upsize. I'm going to throw that glide. And there's, they're also catching big fish. So like what for you led you in that direction? And what would you say to somebody who's like, I'm not going to get out the sissy stick and like go fish finesse stuff? What would you say to them about that?
Yeah. I mean, that's a personal thing for me because of the time I have in with finesse. Like if people didn't catch it earlier, I mean, I've got triplet boys. So to go learn big glide bait game and really dial it into the level I've got the finesse game dialed in is just really hard at this point in my life. I certainly see a time and place for power techniques. I still throw a jerk bait, like the Flashpoint, and this might sound cheesy because it's a practical product. I have no skin in the game on that side with that brand, and I feel like it's an incredible jerk bait. I used to use a lot of Vision 110s, and this thing will work just as good. And I use them all the time. We use the War Eagle spinner baits. Caught me a big fish last year in a tournament. But when it gets really tough for me, I just feel like I am better than anyone else around me on that lake on that given day with a micro bait. And I'm going, if that's what's going, I'm going to beat them with it. And that's to the point where, honestly, like had we started Great Lakes Finesse and I felt like people would even buy into it at all, I probably would have even started with the micro series. Like that's how much I believe in small. Yeah. Like
that would have been ballsy, man.
Yeah, it would have been like the 2-inch Judy Craw is so tiny, but this is the one I find I'm throwing more than the bigger one. And the bigger one's already small for people. So,
right.
But at on the flip side, it does require a level of precision to be able to fish those really, really small baits effectively. So I can understand if finesse isn't like a strong suit for people where it would be hard to just dive right into the micro. The regular lineup is definitely easier to grasp and use the baits.
Yeah. Awesome. So I would say the tip from that for anybody looking at tournaments, looking at more consistent days on the water too, is like what you're saying, Dan, is, hey, I put all this time on the water into finesse baits. So to branch into big baits, you could do it, but it's going to be extremely time consuming, especially when you compare it to the breadth of experience that you've gotten from the finesse sides. So as you guys are out there fishing, let's say you're really comfortable with like a wacky rig. You go do a tournament, you should plan to have that bait staged up, that lure, that technique staged up, ready to go. Don't skip out on your favorites, your confidence baits. We just did the Susky last year. My confidence bait, the Ned rig in Copper Truce, was on deck, and it's what caught me almost all my fish after a very frustrating start to the day. I had a very slow 4-hour period, and I was like, I'm going to go to these boulders over here. I'm going to put this Ned rig where I think it should go. I'm going to catch every damn fish in this damn river. And then I did. And then I went home and I was like, I feel good about my performance. Yeah. Like I did something, right? Like you just resort back to that.
It was the Juvie Craw.
Yeah, exactly, right?
No, Yeah, and this came up with Drew Gregory as well, you know, and people
got like
kind
5
of
baits, and that's it.
He's like, yeah, I throw 5 baits, man.
Yeah,
I throw 5 baits, and I throw them all in the same place, shallow. Like I operate in 4 feet of water, 2 feet of water all the time. Doesn't matter what lake I'm on. Go find a tributary. That's what I'm doing. So, you know, and like we talked about, that guy's got to dust off all his metals, you know, under his feet because he got so friggin' many of them. So yeah, that's just you experience it. You experience this when you fish by yourself. Like Jeff and I actually are also downsized when we feel like we need to go get bit. That's been our thing since forever.
Feels like a Midwest thing too, right? Like it feels like home for us.
But you know, we're in Michigan, right? So we're fishing a lot of the same kind of water, but that doesn't mean that can't work for you if you're in Georgia, and your thing is, well, I upsize when it's crappy because we have all this stained water. That's what I'm doing. So it's the same concept. It's not about do you go small or big. It's what works for you, and you got to go with your next best thing, because the couple of things that there's very few rules in fishing. There's really not many. There's rules in a tournament, but when it comes to just like in fishing, the only 2 things that I can tell you with certainty is, one, the more you fish, the better you'll get. It's a guarantee. If you just fish more, you'll get better. Might be marginally, but you'll get better. And the other one is fishing with confidence. If you're not fishing with confidence, you are not going to do well.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to just add to that. Like, you look at a lot of tournament wins, and it's usually a specialist in a certain style of fishing. So whether it's like someone mentioned John Cox, if that shallow bite is there, he knows that he's going to go look for it. And if it's there, he knows he's going to win. It might not be there every time, but you don't need to win every time. But you need to get really, really good at a technique that you hope one day the stars will align, and on that given day, you're going to go look for that bite. It's going to be there, and you're going to be the best one at it. And I know when there's a tube dragging bite or a juvie craw bite, I know if that bite's there, there's not many people that can beat me at that. So I always look for it. Get really, really good and commit and be a specialist at something. And for us, it's finesse. Like if there's a finesse bite, we don't feel like there's many people who can beat us if that bite exists.
And that's the level of confidence that you need to have going into a tournament. So practice that, figure out what your go-to baits are. Like, I feel great with a Ned rig, with a drop shot, with a chatter bait, and with a 4 to 5 inch swim bait. Like, I feel fantastic with those. I feel like I could throw them any day of the week. I'll catch fish. So I should probably have enough of those staged up, ready to go if I go to a tournament. I don't care where I go. And then, you know, you can get those kind of like back pocket techniques, slowly build up your experience on the water time with them over time. But like, if I'm trying to like do well in a tournament, I'm probably going to stick to what I'm confident with. And that's just a great place to be. Great place to start, or a great place to finish if you're having a frustrating day because you tried everything else and it wasn't working. Awesome. Great advice. All right. I do have one question about GLF here from Robert Stinkowitz here, who says, Will, what?
Is it no?
Why are you shaking your head at me?
All right, him.
Robert. I was like, what did I say wrong? His name. So Robert wants to know, will Great Lakes ever have heavier jigs? Jig heads.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I love it. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I mean,
how heavy are we talking? Like,
yeah, like what is he looking for? I mean, we have half-ounce tube heads.
That's true. Yeah.
Like we've got 1/4 ounce, we got 3/8 ounce heads. For finesse fishing, I mean, with a little tiny bait, that's one thing I think people miss is like a 3/8 ounce head with a small little piece of plastic falls just as fast as a half ounce with a bigger piece of plastic. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I think something too that we've kind of held to ourselves a little bit is, especially in deep water, like we really lean on lightweights. And we know we're going to get less casts in the day, but our baits just look so much more natural falling down in that deep water. It might take a long time for it to get down there, but most people don't have the patience. They just want something that goes, and it just looks bad and fish don't eat it. And we're like watching our baits just fall like painfully slow, and then those fish will come up and intercept it.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Fall rate is huge. That's one thing that Jeff and I both learned fishing the ultralight game is, man, like the closer you get to that 1/64th with a dense plastic, it's like, why am I catching more fish? I'm doing way less work.
Just hit it out there.
That slow fall, it just nobody fishes. That's why the wacky, I think, does so well so often. It just slaps the water, it goes down slow, and you don't do anything. Like, it just works though.
Like annihilate crappie with that, man. Just like throw it in a school of crappie, let it fall. They're looking up aggressive. Bam. It's sweet. All right. So other than that, we got one more product that we did want to take a look at that you guys just dropped. And then this bag that you sent me in a giant box. But so tackle storage is something that we obsess over constantly. It's like my favorite thing to do is just reorganize my tackle. It's, I don't know, it soothes me. It makes me feel better about life. But we've got, tell us about this real quick, because I just got this today. And again, kid you not, came in giant box. But I did notice it says waterproof. It's got a little Ziploc up here, eh?
Yeah, we just added like one with a bag that I mean, it's a simple bag, right? It's affordable. Right. It's like in that $9.99 range. It can fit a pile of plastics, whatever you want in there. It's got the Ziploc, so if you need things to be waterproof, and then it's got that kind of like water resistant zipper as a second layer. Honestly, most of the time I don't do the Ziploc because I'm too fast. I'm like trying to grab a bag of baits and go. But if you are like, okay, I got some documents or I got some stuff that literally can't get wet.
Documents like we're a spy or something.
Hey,
or like SD cards. I don't know, like something you really don't want to get wet. Toilet paper.
Your license that you didn't wait to get the laminated one in the mail.
Yeah,
I never wait for that one.
Insurance docs, whatever you want, right? So
my marriage license.
What?
They're not carrying that with you? Weird.
Passport, non-denominational bills. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Whatever. Just spitballing here.
You could. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a good, affordable solution for just whatever you got to store.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, with our brand.
It holds a bunch of stuff. Look at that. I did that. Sweet. Yeah, I like the Ziploc as an option. Having a waterproof bag like that, especially when it lays flat and just sit under a bunch of stuff, which is cool too. But then we got these things, and we've seen a couple of these around, but you're bringing something different to the table. So now there's like 3 gunslingers in town. I got one with no dividers, one with all the dividers, and then one with just the right amount of dividers. So we've got really simple on the inside, just a couple of dividers that you can move around, and then the rest, the outer layer here, is more of that weatherproof material. And I mean, we've been using bags like these over the years. These are solid. I gotta say, your handles, that stitching's pretty freaking heavy duty, dude.
Yeah, we went. I mean, when we designed the bag, we were like, we want people to buy it once. We never want them to come back and
break it on. I'm kidding.
I mean, I've never tested it to that extent, but I mean, that is.
I'll do it right now.
It's reinforced. Like every seam there is like dialed right in as good as we could get it. So
it's heavy duty.
The matte black with the Vader red is
the color. Yeah, the color is pretty sick. This one right here is like the one that I need though. I don't have, so like the Evolutions Plastics, for example, is one that we've used. The Busby Quick Cube doesn't have dividers. Evolution Plastics only comes in tall version, and then it also has like that insert in there, so it's like extremely rigid. This one meets you kind of somewhere in between, but I do like that you guys made the 3700 size like thinner option. So small box, same size as a 3700 size box, fits in your tackle box there, or your kayak crate if you're kayaking like we do. So I like that, man.
That's my favorite one because I've got the slots in my bass boat, so I slide those right in with my tackle trays, and that's why we went with that footprint. It's sneaky. It holds a lot of tackle. So
finesse is slept on for the tackle storage because the
terminal wallet.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah,
banger.
The terminal wallet is the most successful product on LureNet, which says a lot.
That's insane.
It's crazy. We sell those every day. we don't even talk about it every day. And people, I think just word of mouth has gotten out. Like people are seeing the trend with it and they're like, I need one of those. And then people who have them are like, I need 3.
We've been
made a
talking
couple
about
of videos. I'm not gonna lie. Just
not
saying.
gonna say that we helped here, but I'm pretty sure we helped you.
I'm sure. Pause. I've seen your stuff, so I know you guys are talking about it. I really appreciate that. I think
we're
that
talking about it because it's awesome. I carried it. It's on my boat every day.
Yeah, like I don't know if people can see it, but this is it. This is actually my personal one. And it's just loaded with like stuff, and not only GLF, like it's got
regular size hook packaging,
regular hooks
fit in
like,
there.
You know what hooks I'm using for drop shot, and not the other ones. Like, you know, this is like my personal stash of stuff. So
nice.
Anyway, that's it's amazing.
In there.
Yeah, it just kind of zips up. It's loaded, like it's and I don't know. There's probably hundreds packs of jig heads in there.
Yeah, hundreds of jigs will fit into there. I can confirm. I did the same thing. Some of mine are just like pre-rigged baits, like Ned rigs and stuff. I just like toss it. I'm like, cut that off, toss it in here. I'll use it next time. And it just like lives in there. And then the rest are like the GLF bags. And then most of your regular size hook bags, and even some of the weights will fit in there too. So a lot of like BFS stuff that Paul and I use from like Ryugi, for example, is going to go in there. And that, I mean, dude, it's clean. Also, the fact that it just reminds me of high school and having that CD wallet, like that's immediately what came to mind for me. I was like, oh,
that's funny.
I have one of these, and it has like Blink 182, take off your pants and jacket, it has Sum 41, all killer, no filler, corn, follow the leader. You know, like just the standards.
All your burn CDs from Napster.
Oh yeah, homemade mixes.
Homemade
summer.
Mix.
Hella
Summer
cool
of 01, let it rip, tater chip.
Oh man, yeah. Some of the names we came up with for our mixtapes.
Dope songs.
Forever unclean.
42069. All right. So yeah, there's a bunch of cool products from GLF, you guys. A lot of this just dropped. Go check them out on LureNet. We'll do the unboxing. What did I say that was, Paul? Next Friday, I think the unboxing will be.
We got next.
So coming up about a week or so here, we've got a ton of stuff that we got from the Classic. We haven't talked to the Classic about with you guys because we did it on our members only live yesterday.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, we got to hang out with Dan for a little bit. He's going to be in that video that comes out on Monday, the Classic walkthrough. Checked out some of the new products in hand there, but yeah, we have a lot to unbox. There's like the stealth lures that Paul was showing off a little bit ago. We got some swim baits. We got a very expensive swim bait. We got some throwback baits, the Wake Walker. We got the Karashis, got like 4 of those. Bought one to just give away on our members only live, and one we're hooking up with a local guy here. I don't know if he's on the podcast today, Feather Outdoors. He called me up and he was like, can you get me one? And I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely. he hooked me up with like a sick BFS rod, and a bunch of freaking tackles. So of course I'm gonna hook him up. But yeah, it was an awesome show, lots of fun. Pradco definitely showed up. We had a fun little like event. I say event loosely, but a bunch of cool kids showed up at the booth on Saturday. So we were there with like Debo's Fishing, Hello Bass, Ilyakin was there, Creek Fishing Adventures was there. Who else was there? I don't know. Lots of people. Lots of cool
Gramps, Maine.
Gramps was there.
Everybody was
honestly there. It was a blur to me. All I remember is pulling that spy bait hook out and putting it back in thousands of times. That's all I did. I just stood there.
In this nightmare.
I kept doing this, and people are like, "Where do I get it?" So yeah, that was what I like. People were like, they didn't even look at anything else. Like everything got overshadowed by the spy bait. It was crazy. And man, like, did Knoxville show up like that? Show was busy. Like people were, and like hardcore. Like everyone was into it. Like it was the best Classic I've ever been to. I mean, I didn't get to see the Classic.
Same.
Just meeting people. Like, yeah, you guys got to see it. I didn't even see the booth behind me. I didn't know Cashin was behind us until we were tearing down. Like, I was so locked into my booth. Like I didn't even know who was around.
You're always locked in, dude. I see you.
I don't think Dan's ever left the confines of his booth. Every time I go over there, he's got 6 meetings, 24 people, someone else filming.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
It's good.
It was wild.
It's the level of success that, to be honest, we haven't seen from a lot, if honestly, of any other brand.
Not
And
typical, yeah.
No, not at all. And what I appreciate, and the reason we love having you on is, you talk every single bait you're hyped on because of how much time you guys put into it and how much time you put into it. And it's not just like, well, we saw everyone else was making it, so we made our own version. I think you guys are one of the few trailblazer brands that are just doing it for the love of the game. And that's why we appreciate it. And that's why it's been successful, because you're not just taking home run cracks at random baits trying to sell. You're making baits that are going to catch fish and are unique. Yeah. So you guys deserve it. I'm happy.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. It means a lot. Yeah, we put a lot of work in, and man, it is a passion. Like it's people have no idea the things we go through to make baits like these. And yeah, you just see it in the pack, and you're like, oh, cool. But it's just the crazy.
A little craw. All right.
Yeah. I did see someone ask if we're doing any shows in Ontario where we live. Yeah, we're doing the Can Cast show. It's like a one day. It's like the biggest one-day fishing show.
It's the one
in Ontario. So I'll be there. We'll have a booth. I'll be able to talk about some stuff. And then someone just asked about Marabou jig trailers. I always put on our drop minnow. The reason being is it's dense. It gets me the distance, but it's got the neutral buoyancy, so I can reel it slower. And those fish have longer to track the bait and eat it, as opposed to heavy salted or something that's going to make the bait sink more. So that's why I choose the drop minnow. I don't know if
I have a little
straight tail. I got one.
Yeah, like here I got the hair jig. I just throw our drop minnow, which is, I don't know if I've got one. It's kind of like this minnow here on a ball head, but I'll throw that on the back of I'll just match it, same color.
Just a little tickle tail there coming off of that. So this is a new color too. What was this color?
Yeah, that one's Ayu.
Ayu.
Yeah, so that's a really popular color that was specifically requested by our pros.
Yeah.
For we make a green pumpkin shad, but it's more of like a silvery white kind of bottom. But this one's more of like just a different tone of green, and they just wanted that, especially for like the large minnow and the Tennessee kind of area, and spotted bass. Like it's a really important color for them. So sometimes we make colors that are almost the same as other colors, but it is that our guys are in it that much. And even the perch, I didn't design this perch. I had Evan, who's won more walleye tournaments on perch colored baits than anyone I know, design this perch. Like this is his perch. So we really lean on our guys when we feel like they can bring, a level of expertise into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Pro Blue Red Pro was another one. Like that's a new color for us. That was just our guys were like, we need Pro Blue Red Pro. Like it has to happen.
I mean, it's a good call for sure, because it's a fantastic color. But yeah, I love that you guys do that, because like Paul was saying, like we were talking about earlier, you could come out with dice bait, but you're like spy bait. And who else came out with a spy bait this year? Nobody.
Last year. The year before last.
Yeah. Jalen was like, look, man, I'm just going to get you to catch giant fish on my line. You're welcome. Buy it or don't. Right? That's awesome.
It's funny you mentioned that. Like, I mean, the spy bait category, everyone just made a spy bait that was similar to the industry leader.
10 years ago.
But then no one addressed the problem with a spy bait, which is they lose fish. Like everybody, all our pros, our friends, they're like, we don't throw them in tournaments because we lose too many fish. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. We love throwing them. So we just kind of revisited that category.
Now we got it.
I love that. Yeah, there was a definite learning curve. Paul and I spent a whole day only spy baiting. We had like 3 of them. It was like the Dual Realis, the Spro, and like a cheap one, Strike King or something.
Strike King, yeah.
And like just got wrecked. I think we both caught 1 or 2 fish, and we're like, neat.
It was cold. It was so cold.
Check. Throw them away. Never use them again.
I actually like them in the summer. Honestly, I know you mentioned cold, but I find they really start to heat up as it gets warmer. Like it's pretty much all summer for us. We're throwing them.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I will. I'm gonna throw this one for sure this summer. So.
Especially post spawn, like when they're still cruising up shallow, feeding up after the spawn. or when they're guarding fry, like they really like the spy bait.
Awesome.
Coming in hot, couple months.
Yep, we'll definitely do that. All right. Well, we're at almost 2 hours of the show, so I think we got to do Slow Running Thunder, and we got to get the heck out of here and get Dan back to his triplets. So let's
moderately fast rolling thunder. Let's have it.
Moderately fast thunder. All right. So, Paul, you go. You say this is your segment.
All right. Well, so we have a couple of questions. We're gonna ask everyone the same questions.
Yep.
So there's only 2 of them. First one: best moment that you've had on the water, and you can't say just over 30-pound bag on the St. Lawrence.
Yeah, we already heard that one. Second best moment on the water.
So when I won the FLW Canada on my home lake, Rice Lake, we were leading the tournament after day 1. It was a 2-day tournament. We were leading it, and we were so dialed in. And on the first day, we got a good bro draw, so we got to our spot, our starting spot. Our spot was very obvious. Like, it was mid-lake. Everyone who was driving by could see it. So when we weighed in on day 1, we were leading the tournament. But because they flipped the order, we were kind of a later boat draw.
Oh.
No one had respect for us, and our stuff just had 3 boats on each spot that we were fishing in the tournament on that day. So we couldn't even get on any of our stuff. So for the second day, we were fishing like what I would consider, we got A water, which is our best, B water, which is backup, and then C water, which is like things are not going good. We're going to go there and just throw a Hail Mary. Anyway, we were limited to pretty much our C water because the guys were just like clogging up our good stuff and they wouldn't let us in. And so we scrounged, like we really struggled. We scrounged out a small limit, and then there was a boat that wasn't there on the spot that we got most of our fish, and we were kind of just hovering around, just waiting for these boats to get impatient because these fish are really hard to catch, and these guys weren't catching them, but they knew that that's where we were getting them. With half an hour left in the day, a boat left, and they didn't have a limit because I talked to them later. I immediately like pretty much jumped on, like as soon as I saw them pull the trolling motor, I jumped on. We put our life jackets on. We pretty much landed in their prop wash. I jumped, like I got on the spot, and I know we were throwing these finesse baits. Yeah. And we caught 3 fish that were around 5 pounds within like 20 minutes, got the bag we needed, weighed in, won the tournament. And we were like, like it was so crazy. Like our lines were like, I was fighting a fish, my tournament partner's freaking out. We're all tangled up. And then the big one felt like came in the boat. We netted it. We hugged, and we're like, this is the craziest thing ever. And
that's so cool.
Like rode back going like, is it enough? And then we weighed in one. Like that's probably my most proud tournament just because of what the adversity we went through to win it. So that was probably on the water my most exciting moment in terms of just like exhilaration.
That's nuts. Imagine if they weren't all over your friggin' spots and you had a whole day to mess around with those fish.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's part of it, right? Like guys are competitive and there's big money on the line. It's the most, some of the most money I've ever won in a tournament. So, you know, it gets pretty cutthroat out there, and, you know, it was reverse order. So maybe those guys felt like, you know, but yeah, they weren't letting us in. And, but even the 32-pound bag, like it really didn't occur to me till a day or two later. Like we were just going back, even though we had 32 pounds, like for us, the day we just caught them, and it wasn't a perfect day. And we didn't even know if we won. Like we were at that point, we were like not even thinking. It didn't even occur to us that we had the record until almost the next day when I was like, is this a record? We started researching and looking around, and we put it out there. That's a record, figuring someone's going to come back and say, no, we have the record if it isn't it. And then we reached out to our media partners. They put it out. No one responded. We're like, I guess this is the record.
Oh my God.
We did it, folks.
Yeah, we didn't know. We were like, there's got to be a bigger bag than this out there. Just it came so, I'm not saying it came easy. Like,
but like I wasn't trying.
It was a joke. Simple.
Well, you had your moment in the sun. You had your good moment. Now you know what's coming on the back end. Question number 2. What is the worst moment that you've ever had on the water?
Engine breaking down when I felt like I was on the winning fish in the FLW championship in Canada. It was
I'm sorry I brought this up.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Let's live this together. It's great.
So that year we won the FLW Canada on Rice Lake, which is my home lake.
Yeah.
We fished the season, qualified for the championship, which was like the top teams for the 3 qualifiers. I felt like we were on potentially the winning fish. but I was running an old boat. Like I had an old nitro boat with like a 75. Like I was still really young, and my wife was never really into me buying a new boat. So anyway, boat broke down, starter stopped working. We didn't get to weigh in our fish. We didn't make the third day because of this breakdown. And my wife was just like, "You can buy a new boat." So anyway, I ended up getting a boat out of it, but I was like mad because we put in like a week of practice. And
oh God,
failure that, but that happens to everyone. So that's probably the worst. Yeah, just because it's the only time it's ever happened. Because I'm really good about making sure our stuff's in order and like our engine's good, and we're not hard on our equipment intentionally. Like guys break stuff all the time, and we don't. It's rare. It's because we really don't beat on our stuff.
We do. We break everything.
Well, that's your job. You guys are aggressively average anglers. You guys got to.
I'm aggressively kicking the crap out of everything that gets sent to me.
Yeah, you should.
You need to know how durable it is, you know.
And you guys are straight shooters. Like we sent you. I remember we sent you a rod. It broke, and you're like, my rod broke. And I was like, oh, you have to tell everybody.
Crap, dude.
It's not your fault. It broke in shipping. I'm like, oh man, but like you'll say it. You'll say how it is, which is great. And I think like Travis Manson's the same way. Smallmouth Crush. He's brutally honest. I sent him prototypes to test, and he started talking about how bad it was. I'm like, dude, those aren't even production. Like, we just wanted you to test the length of the.
What is this unfinished garbage?
He's like, this isn't working, and he's online. He's like talking about how it doesn't work, and I called him like, that's not the finished product. I just want you to try it and tell me what you think. Like,
well, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm like, those were prototypes, man. Those were not the final version.
It's 3D printed. What is this garbage?
Yeah, exactly. It's spy bait. These guys at GLF are making
these friggin' GLF guys.
Yeah, they're 3D
take my name off the package.
Yeah, they're 3D printing stuff. Yeah.
Heck yeah, bro.
Dummies. Yeah, no, it's good. I think like the most successful influencers are the ones that shoot straight. You know, the good and the bad. So I mean, you know, it's not all going to be perfect.
No, and I mean, to be honest, I think Jeff and I were talking about this recently. This will be the last thing. I know we got to get you out of here, but you know, I was watching this video of some totally different area, and the guy was like, we're all doing ourselves a disservice and the companies by not being honest. Like me just being nice to you or anybody, right? Anybody. All it does is give you a false sense of I'm doing things right. And then we all end up with an inferior product that we pay too much for. Like, that's all we did. So, and it's not like, you know, we try and do it out of the spirit of like, you were trying to do this. So like when Megabass makes a flimsy hook, I'm like, well, learn how to use your drag. It's designed this way on purpose, you know, and I say the same thing to anybody else, right? There's always give and take, but yeah, I think it's important to just be honest. Like you don't do yourself any favors. It doesn't always feel good, but yeah, you don't do anybody any favors by like essentially lying. Like what are we doing?
Everything's awesome. This is perfect. I hate the videos where everything's perfect and it all is the best, right? Because it's not. Like there is no kayak that will ever rank as 10 out of 10. Like it just doesn't exist. Even the ones we love the most are not 10 out of 10. The Titan X, the Hobie Pro Angler 14 180 drive, like they're still not 10 out of 10. There's still a lot of problems with them, right? And we just need to call that out. At the very least, tell the company, and maybe the company will fix it, right? We got a kayak recently that had a malfunctioning rudder. And I said, hey, guys, this rudder doesn't work. And you know what they did? They changed the rudder assembly on all future kayaks that they were selling. So I was like, oh, sweet. Just saved a bunch of people a lot of frustration. So, but yeah, that's I love it, man. And you know, we appreciate you coming on the show. Now, is this the 5th time or the 6th time? Did we say
fifth time for sure? I was counting before the show. I'm like, how many times have I been on here? People are gonna even care about me anymore? Special guest.
They love
this guy again.
Reoccurring guest, Dan Miguel.
Every other week. Yeah,
every other week. And we get accused of being GLF fanboys, Paul. Why would they think that? Just
because I am.
Because I am, right? I think we gave plenty of good reasons to be GLF fanboys today. But yeah, as always, man, appreciate you. You've been a great guest. I think we dropped a lot of good info for folks. Again, this is the KAS AAA show. So if you're looking to get into tournament fishing, fish more tournaments, or you just want to catch bigger fish on your home waters, I think there were some good tips in here. And you guys should definitely consider at least checking out the new drops from Great Lakes Finesse. buy it or don't. As always, we're going to be using it, so you'll see how it goes for us throughout the season as well. Anything else that you want to call out, Dan? Any like upcoming events, stuff?
Not really. Just kind of status quo for us, working hard. Fishing season's coming up. We'll be testing more products, getting more content, putting out good stuff. Just the finesse boot camp. If anyone wants to like really dial in their finesse game, check that out. Honestly, like I gave up everything. I gave up all the juice that I possibly have in those 11 videos. It's going to get really, really good in the next few weeks. So, the second half of the series is money. Like if you're a hardcore angler and you want to skip the first few, do it. If you have we just want to graduate people through finesse fishing. So like the basics, kind of like a class, right? Like learn the basics and then get into the more hardcore stuff later. So right now we're still in the basics, but it's going to get real juicy. I would say around episode 5 and 6. That's when we really start getting into the good stuff. Episode 6, we're on the water. We give up one of the biggest secrets in shallow water finesse fishing. And that one, I definitely recommend that one.
All right. I'm going to go watch that right now. You guys
it's not available.
Watch that?
It's not available yet. One per week. There's only 2 yet. One more tomorrow, and then by week 6, it'll be
all right. Well, I
really
won't go fishing till I take all your secrets. How about that? No, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm kidding. But yeah, you guys should definitely tune into that. Make sure you subscribe to the Great Lakes Finesse channel so that you can see that when they drop, as Dan just said, one every other week or every week. So just stay on top of it. Ring that notification bell. Do all that great stuff. Smash that like. You guys get it. All right.
Yeah.
But thank y'all for watching and hanging out with us tonight. It's been a blast. We will have another KAS AAA show with another guest in about 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, back to our regular programmed off the rails show on Aggressively Average Anglers next week. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. All right. Chaz, take us out of here.